Hey all, something a little bit different today. I'm actually in the airport of Auckland and I can't get my Wi-Fi to work on my laptop, which is super frustrating. I've got about 5 minutes before we jump on another plane to Los Angeles on the way to Bitcoin Miami, but I want to just jump on and quickly give you some thoughts on Bitcoin and just everything that's going on right now in the macro space and the on-chain analytics. I really do think that Bitcoin potentially could go on another bull period. I'm seeing a lot of charts on the spot volume of Bitcoin, which I've got a chart I can't quite show, but Glassnode shared. The spot market is historically one of the leading indicators of when retail investors come in and start buying Bitcoin and crypto, and that has started to really tick up over the last couple of months, which I'm really interested in. The other one which I'm looking at is the growth of Luna and how much Bitcoin they're buying. They're up to, I think, $1.4 billion in holdings of Bitcoin, Luna. So I'm really excited about them continuing to add Bitcoin, and the illiquidity of supply on exchanges right now continues to deteriorate. So there's another chart here, which again, I can't show you, from Glassnode. The separation of the illiquidity of the supply on exchanges and the Bitcoin price continues to increase. So as we're seeing the spot market increase, which is retail investors coming in buying off exchanges, and then how few Bitcoins there actually are on exchanges, I think we're going to see price continue to increase. The demand for Bitcoin continues to surge and the supply continues to decrease. There's another chart Checkmate posted on Twitter recently about the continual decline of Bitcoin coming into supply over the 4 years. We know every 4 years, the amount of Bitcoin that comes into supply halves, and we've seen constant growth in the demand. So if demand increases and supply decreases, Bitcoin is going to continue to go up. Now, the 19th million Bitcoin has also been mined recently. That's all in circulation now, which means that there's only 2 million Bitcoin ever to be mined again. Now, that's going to take over 100 years because of the continual decline and mathematics on that. But again, this is just supply and demand mathematics, and more people are in demand for Bitcoin. I'm going to Bitcoin conference, obviously in Miami. There's 35,000 people going to this conference. That's absolutely phenomenal. I can't fathom that. Let's start going to a footy match, an AFL match. We're really going to start to see a lot more institutions. A lot of the talks, by the way, are institutions talking about Bitcoin. We're talking about, the president of El Salvador coming in. I've heard Brazil might be making an announcement there as well. Jack Mallers is making an announcement, something potential with Apple. Like, there's more and more companies and institutions coming into this space, and we're starting to see retail tick up. I really do think that Bitcoin could continue to go on a run very soon. And just quickly on the macro environment, we're seeing inflation rates continue to increase. German retail chains are going to increase their food prices by 20 to 50% on Monday. That's absurd. That's unbelievable. At the moment, I pay $5 for a coffee. That's now paying like $7.50 potentially for a coffee, or a loaf of bread going up the $6, $7, $8 mark. Inflation continues to increase, and there's no other asset in the world right now that is really a hedge against that, to hedge against inflation. As we see more and more people lap up the Bitcoin, there's not that much left in terms of the liquidity on the supply. The record number of holders of Bitcoin that have held Bitcoin for over a year and haven't sold it is nearly at record highs. It's about 65% of supply is held by hodlers that haven't sold in over a year. And lastly, I'll talk about what Checkmate posted to members recently about the upcoming yield curve. Now, this is a macroeconomic thing that happens using treasury bonds and the yield curve. And basically, the yield curve is just hit 0%, which historically, this hasn't happened very many times, but every single time that yield curve has inverted, there's been an impending recession. Now, it could be 3 months, it could be 1 month, it could be 6 months, it could be 18 months. We don't know if there will be a recession, if at all. However, with the increase of inflation, increased cost of goods and services, and the slowing of the economy, as interest rates continue to increase, we could see an impending recession, which should be pretty scary for a lot of people. But again, Bitcoin is a safe haven, which continues to rocket through 46,000, 47,000 and beyond. So super bullish. I'm going to give you a lot of updates when we get to Bitcoin Miami. I'm super excited, and I'll chat to you again all tomorrow. Thanks. Bye for now.